Stop singing! God, fucking hell. I was gonna say hi, and then this bitch over here. Swallow.
I already did. You don't gotta tell me twice. Don't spit take. Guys, do you like this better?
I like it better.
I don't know how I feel about staring at myself.
Well, then don't look at you, look at me. I mean, I've got this whole, like...
L'Oreal.
This L'Oreal fan moment going on right now.
It's hot as balls, guys. I don't do well in this weather. How do you feel about warm weather?
Oh, I don't like it. I don't do shorts, because I get the meaty-ass thighs, so...
I think we're both equal and meaty.
Yeah. So, I don't do shorts, because there's this thing called Chub Rub.
Oh.
And...
I heard Vagisil is great for that.
Oh.
And deodorant.
I've heard baby powder. But how does that... Like, if you sweat, it doesn't just go away?
Yeah, no, I think deodorant, I heard, was, like, the best.
It's actually a good idea. But then, like, because when you walk, your shorts ride. If you wear it... Yeah.
And then you're, like, doing this weird waddle.
When I was in San Diego, when I wore a skirt, it was, like, a long skirt. And I just wore typical underwear. My thighs were so chapped. It was not... It was, like, burning.
Like, do you think guys would judge us if we did skirts and then did, like, boxer briefs?
Well, no, I had to wear... Thankfully, I brought, like, Spanx.
Oh.
So I wore those. But still, it's, like, San Diego, California, 80+ degrees.
Is it humid over there?
No. But it's still hot. Like, you're still in the fucking sun.
The sun is not the same as it used to be when I was, like, 7.
What?
Like, I feel like it's hotter. Like, it's like...
Yeah, because the earth is dying. Yeah, see?
We need to make a post-apocalyptic plan for our podcast for after the apocalypse.
Let's make some underground bunkers. Make sure we have got some satellites and electricity so we can record.
That sounds really complicated. Can we just opt to die?
I don't want to.
Would you want to live without this?
Staring at our faces and showing it to you guys.
How shiny I am. Yee. I feel like an anime character.
Oh my god, yeah, like the little rose colored like lines on the cheeks.
My cheeks are always so like...
Oh, you're so...
I'm pink.
Why are you so cute?
Stop.
I love it.
No.
Look at... Oh.
Okay.
Just put your Deadpool face
news. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome, Ryan Reynolds.
Deadpool.
Okay, Wade.
Okay, what were we saying?
Well, we haven't even said hi yet because we're talking about ourselves.
Okay, hi.
She's so bashful.
I am.
Episode 44. Insert title here.
Oh yeah, because we're doing that thing. I really hope this isn't backwards.
It won't be, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Those listening in and not watching us, you're missing out. Yeah. Head to YouTube for sure and find us there.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of funny looking.
I like that.
Yeah. So, we have a lot to talk about today.
Yes.
We're going to get into it. Don't follow us, social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, at WAM617, and find info at wickedawkward.com, where we have recaps and shit. So
good.
So good.
So good.
So good.
Did you find that story about the lady who married the ghost?
Yes, and I remember seeing that. It was a pirate.
Yeah!
Yeah.
See, I know what I'm talking about sometimes.
She's like, I married a, 5,000-year-old pirate or whatever the fuck.
Like,
she's like,
he looks like his sword when he shags you.
and he conveniently looks like
don't say Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow. Some people.
You know, whatever. If it makes her happy, she's not hurting anybody. Sure.
I guess.
The guy with the car, that's still not okay.
Yeah, I think that was
No, I've seen that.
TLC?
Yeah, they do some weird shit on there.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway. So, what are we starting with?
Yes, because, see, I watched it. Amanda, you finished.
And we talked about it, Joe shared it with us last week. Servant on Apple TV. And it was, if y'all listened in, it was about that doll, then it was a real baby, because the mom was like cuckoo, and
because she did some shit.
Because she fucked up her real kid.
See, I don't know if we should spoil this, because I mean, I feel like, how many episodes was it? 10.
Yep.
10 30-minute episodes. Like, y'all should.
I banged it out in 2 to 3 days.
All right, so if our followers love us, they would have watched it by now, and I have no.
We're gonna spoil it because we need to talk about it, and I just want to say, I'm on the fence about M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong is what I call him because I can never say his last name.
I think it's just M. Night Shyamalan.
Whatever. He did The Village and Signs and The Happening and all that other weird shit.
1 out of 3 so far.
But this is like pretty much the only thing that he did that I really, really liked.
Like, you were impressed.
I was very impressed.
Did you know it was by him when you started watching it?
Yes, because I looked it up on... Oh, no, because when I was doing our recap at wickedawkward.com,
yes.
I found the poster image for A Servant, and it said right in the middle, created by M. Night Shyamalan, whatever his name is. Shyamalan Ding Dong is that? Yeah, that's what me and my brother call him.
I love that you actually spelt it out when you texted me.
Oh yeah, why not?
Yeah,
so
it's a funny word. So yes,
servant.
Yes.
As a reminder, it's a wife, and they don't live in Upper East Side, New York, as Joe said. They live in fucking Philadelphia.
Oh my god.
This one over here.
Well,
I'm like, and it says Philadelphia every episode, like, because she's on the Philadelphia News.
Oh my god.
She's like, I had to go to South Philly. I'm like,
sorry.
Where the fuck is she getting New York?
I'm sorry, guys. The thing is, it looks like New York.
It does, yeah.
I guess any downtown looks like another downtown to some degree.
Let's be honest, they probably filmed it in New York, so.
Yeah, right? What is that? Why can't you just, like, stick to... forget it.
To be different. Whatever.
Whole different topic.
So, again, the cast is Lauren Ambrose as the wife. What the fuck is her name?
Excuse me.
Oh my god, I just watched it last week. Dorothy. It is Dorothy because that was my grandma. That's my grandmother's name. So
it's not The Servant. It's just
Servant.
I used to think it was Servant.
And then Toby Kebbell, British motherfucker who I love.
Dorothy. Oh my god.
He's on Rock and Rolla. He was on Black Mirror. Mm-hmm. God, he was in so many other things. I love him. He plays Sean, the husband. Dorothy's brother is played by Rupert Grint, not Grant, like she said last week.
I'm so sorry.
Also known as Ron fucking Weasley.
I know.
And then some, like, new chick who plays the nanny, Leanne.
Her name is Neil Tiger Free. Such a hippie name.
I was gonna say, that is a flower child name. So, basically, Dorothy... she killed her baby, in other words. Not intentionally, but she was exhausted. And whatever. So... the baby died at 13 weeks.
Yeah.
So to cope, her, like, therapist gave her a doll that looks really fucking real.
I forget what they called it, too.
It was like
it's like a form of therapy, yeah.
Yeah. But now the whole family has to pretend this doll's real. Enter in this weird-ass nanny from Wisconsin. And all of a sudden the baby's a real baby. Like, it's not a doll no more. And the husband and the brother are like, what the fuck? Where's this baby?
I always thought... this is like a supernatural thing. You thought she was fucking with people's minds.
Right. I thought it was she's making them see it's a real baby so that, I don't know, it would be easier to, like, go along with it.
Yeah. And you know what? I actually believed where Sean was coming from when he was like, oh, that's her baby. And we're paying her to take care of her baby.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yo, that's fucking genius. Sort of.
I know, but that's... why would she put a baby in a suitcase and not just have it with her?
Yeah, that was it.
Anyway, it's only 10 episodes. Oh my god, it was so twisted. I was like, what?
I can't believe how, like, into it you got.
Listen, I didn't want it to end.
I know.
But all in all, it was a good, like, culmination in all 10 episodes.
Yes.
And I kind of hope they leave it.
Like, they don't go past?
Yeah, because I know M. Night Shyamalan... whatever.
M. Night
wants... I think on IMDb I read that he wants it to go to 6 seasons, and I'm like, how?
See, I really think it would have to dive into... because it ends with, like, you find out that she's a part of a cult.
And by she means the nanny.
The nanny, sorry. So the nanny's part of a cult, and she has some kind of supernatural ability to make, like, real babies. I don't know if that's, like, a very specific... like, is that specific to It seems like she helps grieving mothers somehow.
I don't know, but she did something.
But I think the only way they could stretch it out to 6 seasons would be to dive into the cult itself, how she ties into it, and then maybe like her dynamic with other families.
I was gonna say that's 1 season.
They can probably split that. If they give that cult its own backstory and then they give a whole backstory to her.
Yeah. So
they could do like one where it's like integrated, and then they could do another one where it's like her with a new family and you'll have flashbacks of like her past things. They could probably stretch it out to 4, maybe 3, 4 seasons. I feel like 6 is pushing it.
6 is pushing it a lot. See, that's why I like limited series or miniseries better. Because it gives you the whole story, and it's no fluff, no fillers.
And my thing is, like, he fucking nailed it. And I'm so afraid that he's gonna fuck it up if he continues it.
Or if he leaves, and they have to, like, make it with somebody else.
Then it might be better. I don't know, but it was great. And the way that, like, the baby died, like, I'm gonna leave that to you guys to watch. I had...
issues.
I did. Because...
well, I'm sure a lot of people would.
But then I feel bad because, like, the people that this happens to, like, I know it wasn't intentional. Oh my god. I just don't know how to... I'm more angry about it and judgmental about it than I am understanding, which is something weird for me to say because I try to be open-minded and understanding and sensitive to everybody's situations, but I don't understand how you can forget. I don't understand how...
I will say, though, again, I've only seen her, that actress, in Can't Hardly Wait, which was like 99 or whatever, but her acting was phenomenal, I think.
Yeah.
If they don't get awards for this shit,
then it's the awards people that are having issues. Yeah.
Because she, like, once she realized in the show what happened, and, like...
oh, and she had that fit
and
moment.
And she, like, her body starts convulsing.
It was literally... it was a mental breakdown in physical form.
And you could see it.
Yeah.
This show does a lot of good showing versus telling.
Yes.
Which is a thing in creative writing.
Yes.
And it's very well done.
Was that... stupid sex scene, I feel like it could have just done I feel like that almost diminished, even though it was so brief. Poor Mr. Grint. Even though it was so brief, I feel like it's just like, why'd you have to do that?
I'm just gonna say we all grew up with Ron Weasley, so in my head he's still like a kid.
Ron Weasley.
He's like, I'm like, ew, it's cringy, but he's our age, so it's like
I was like, where's Hermione and why are you cheating on her? Yeah.
This poor bastard must, like, they must be so sick of that. I mean, I know it's a part of their lives and they love it, but
you know what I saw the trailer to the other day was the Swiss Army Man.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, I want to watch it, but it's so freaky just watching the trailer that I'm just like, I don't know if I could be okay with that. I watched Horns.
Love Horns.
And you know what? That's a little biased because Emma Watson... anything that she puts out, I'll watch that shit.
Yeah, because she was in Little Women that you recently watched.
So good.
She was in other shit. Like, she's on her... and she's weird because if I see her in something else, I'm like, yeah, Emma. But it's Harry and Ron, I'm like, it's Harry and Ron!
Yeah, like, I'm never like, yeah, Hermione. Like, it's just never...
okay, case in point, there is a movie called, oh my god, something Target, with Bill Nye. It's a British movie. What's John Krasinski's wife's name? Emily Blunt. And Rupert. And... it's actually... I actually highly recommend that movie.
Something Target.
Bill Nye's an assassin or whatever and falls in love with Emily Blunt and becomes friendly with Rupert. And Rupert was taking a bath. And he stands up.
No. No.
And it was so weird because I'm like, ooh, Ron!
It's like that's pubescent dick. But it's not.
But it's not because he was in his early 20s, I think, at the time, so... I don't know. It's just weird.
With people in England and being okay with nude, because what's his name? I almost said Harry Potter.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, he immediately after he did the Harry Potter series, he did the theater
with the horse.
Yeah,
and he was naked.
And in Horns, he had a sex scene that was quite revealing.
That was sexy.
That was weird. It was like up against a tree. It just looks so
Yeah, and I remember seeing that.
All I kept saying was like, ooh, splinters.
I was like, ooh, against the bark? That must be like...
is there such thing as bark burns?
Yes. Not that I know.
I don't know. There's a story
I've only
there.
ever gotten couch burns, so I don't know. Moving on.
Okay, so
Servant, in other words, is really fucking good.
Fantastic. People should just take my recommendations all the time.
I'm saying take her fucking recommendation because it's good.
Yeah, I recommended it to like 4 people at work today. They're like, I'll watch the trailer. I'm like, no, you need to fucking start it right now.
Yep.
Just listen to me. Your life will be better.
And really, $5 for Apple TV is worth it every month. I know.
It's like, how could you not? And if you went and got the iPhone 11, I think you get Apple TV for free for a year.
Oh, come on. Really?
Yes.
Fuck.
What did you say earlier about that Mac computer you have at home?
I said absolutely nothing about it. I'm a PC.
She loves it. PC, please. Please. Okay, so you watch something on... Servant, go watch it. Do it now.
Yep.
Tomorrow. Whoever. Whenever.
Yes.
Shudder.
So...
You struck.
The...
Gold.
Again, I did, which is... I've been having some hard times with Shudder lately.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I don't know. And the scribe actually watched it first, and he said, yo, I watched this movie. You would love it. So the next time I went to his house, we watched it, and, I mean, his ass fell asleep. But I was like, on this movie, you know?
Yes.
So it's, I don't know why it's called this, but it's A Bluebird in My Heart. Came out in 2018, and it's takes place in France, so it is actually mostly English, but there are some French, you know,
I'm trying.
phrases in there. What?
A bluebird in my heart. I'm trying to be like, is it like a bird in the hand? Like that saying, a bird in the hand, 2 in the bush, or some shit like that? Is it like a bluebird in my heart? Is it like a saying?
I don't know. I don't know. An expression? I have no idea. Anyway.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ. It's... Have you ever seen the movie Drive with Ryan Gosling? Where it's like almost...
Is that the one that he did with his wife?
No, it was Heath Ledger's ex-wife. Or widow. What the fuck is her name?
The Hispanic woman?
Heath Ledger?
Wait, what am I talking about? No, that's his new wife. That's his
Ryan
current,
Gosling's,
yeah.
when he died.
No, I'm talking about...
Oh! Jesus Christ.
We're getting our wires crossed. I'm talking about... You said wife, and I thought that was the movie that he did with his current wife.
No.
I probably don't know her anyways.
Anyway, it's her.
Keep rolling away.
And the script is very minimal, and in other words, it's less dialogue, more action.
Okay.
So that's what this movie is. It's very little dialogue, and it shows versus tells.
Like John Wick.
Yeah, but less dialogue.
Less than that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, John Wick doesn't say much.
No, it's well, okay, fine, it's comparable. All right.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, it's about an ex-con. His name is Danny, and it's unclear where he's from, but I want to say he's from the U.S.
Okay.
But he's very familiar with other languages. We don't actually find out what he was in jail for, but you see him get out. He gets into a halfway house, blah blah blah. But you also see that he's very meticulous about his life. He lives very minimally. He's asking around for jobs and everything. He's about 50s, 60s, I'd say.
That sounds like a prison thing, like a minimal life.
Yeah. And he finds a motel where this woman and her daughter run it, and they speak French, so I'm assuming they're in France. And he asks them if they need help, and...
So was he in prison in France?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But then he got out.
Right. Because you said he's American, but I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, but he's...
All right, got it.
So...
Sorry.
So he asks her, you know, do you have any jobs or whatever available? And she said, well, yeah, they're refixing floors upstairs, so... And he's a very handy man, so she gives him room and board, and he helps with, like, not housework.
Like, janitorial things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's helping her refab the rooms that she needs to be redone. And she has her daughter's 16, I believe. Okay. And this girl is your basic rebel. She skips school. She, you know, smokes her cigarettes and reads while sitting in a bulldozer seat, like, that's on site. And she just, like, hangs out in junkyards, just hanging out. and, you know, smoking a little weed, whatever. And she finds humor in bugging Danny, the ex-con. Like,
does she not know?
What?
That he's an ex-con?
No, they know.
Oh, okay.
So she kind of like...
Because he's like a grumpy old man.
Yeah. And he's like, stop it, go away, whatever. But he doesn't speak a lot because he's that quiet, the silent type.
Mm.
And he also finds it's actually based on a book, and it was called The Dishwasher. And I was like, why the fuck is the book called The Dishwasher?
And why did it go back to a Bluebird in my heart?
Exactly. I don't know. But he finds another job in like a China buffet type deal, and he's a dishwasher.
Oh, well then there you go.
But he's such a handy man that their actual dishwasher machine was broken. He was doing them all by hand, but you can see that he does his job very well. He like puts his mind to whatever he's asked to do.
In prison.
Yeah, like he's a nice man. Like you can tell this guy has killed people, but he's also a good man.
You know what?
What?
I had a patient like that.
Yeah, like he's tough, but he is all for like, I will do my shit if you ask for me of it, you know. So he's a very well man, and then he fixed the actual dishwasher with his bare hands. So he's very knowledgeable in that realm.
Okay.
And that's why the book is called Dishwasher.
Yeah.
But what happens is Clara, the teenager, one night the dude that sells her weed decided to, I'm gonna rape her in my car. And he's got like a fancy ass car.
Why do you guys do that?
Yeah,
Not
see?
you guys, but...
Yeah. Guys in your dicks.
Title.
So anyway, he rapes her and beats her to shit, right? So her body's just like covered in bruises. And Danny goes out and finds her on the gravel and sees the dude. Dude pulls a gun on him, but doesn't shoot. Gets in his car and drives off, right? Danny actually takes her into the tub, like undresses her. It's not sexual at all. Like he's being very parental, even though he doesn't have any kids. So he and she's just a hot mess.
It's all about like, paternal love.
Yes. So he they take her clothes off, and he's like bathing her to wash away all the blood, and takes care of her. And then she's like, "Don't tell my mom." So he doesn't. I know, right? It comes out eventually. But that he sees this kid at the China buffet where he works, and he's like, "This is the guy that fucked her up." So he follows him out to his car, beats him to shit, goes in his car, drives off to a vacant lot, sets it on fire. But little do they know that this kid's connected.
Ah, fuck. Why?
So guys are after Danny, harassing him, threatening him.
Who is he?
I don't know. These are all unknown actors. I have no idea who they are.
Really?
And it's fascinating. But it was such a great movie because it shows that Danny, the ex-con, he does kill people and he does it well. However, he is all for fighting for innocent lives. So he's very protective of Clara.
I don't think this guy's unknown because he's won awards here.
Well, he's always a foreign. Yo, that's Charlie Hunnam. Who is he? Am I just dumb?
Roland Moller, I'm assuming. He's a Danish actor. He's in Skyscraper. And Papillon.
Papillon.
No.
Papillon.
Really? Whatever. Get a better name.
Double L's is a yeah.
Darkland, Valhalla. Like, this guy's everywhere. What are you talking about?
Atomic Blonde.
Sorry, guys.
Wow. But I loved him.
Do you know who he looks like?
Who's
the guy that played Leon the...
Professional?
Yeah.
Jean Reno. And I actually thought about that movie during this movie. It was very similar in the paternal... Yeah. Yeah. And Jean Reno's French. And if you haven't seen Leon the Professional with a young Natalie Portman...
Do you know that that's the first movie that I recall watching?
Ever?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That is such a good story. I love that movie. Gary Oldman?
Even before Disney movies, that's the first, what?
Cinematographic.
Event in my life that I remember. Such a good
Interesting.
movie. So, there are guys after him.
Because he killed this kid. And a homeless guy saw him, that's why. Because he drove his car It's a very secluded area, but of course there was a homeless guy fucking hanging out. He's like, oh my god. So the guy's finally, I don't know how.
Snitch.
I know. And the story isn't complex at all, but it was very well done, and the characters, like, they felt so real that you enjoyed it. You know, it was a good,
that sounds like a really good, I would love to see that.
It was very well done, I think so. It's very gritty and real.
Is it in English or is it in French?
It's mostly English, but when they talk French, it's subtitled. It's not a lot. It's only,
Well, they did that in, The Boys, because of Frenchie.
Excuse me. Yeah. So it's mostly English.
Okay.
But it's very well done like that, because it does a lot of showing versus your telling, and it's a good one. I was stuck, you know, like my eyes were glued. So.
Well, thank you, Scribe.
Yeah. Thank you.
Letting us know about that.
No.
What are you doing?
I was doing a heart to say love you, 12? But emotionally, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so that was on Shudder.
That sounds exciting. I might watch that today after we're done here.
It's one of those, like, drama, like.
How long is it?
It's not long. It's like an hour 40, something like that.
I think that's a good mark. Like, once they start going over that 2-hour mark, I'm like, I'm clicking on my screen. Like, how long does this have left?
Yeah.
How long do we have left?
I did that with The Servant, and I was like, please let there be
more
40 minutes left. But of course, they're only 30-minute episodes.
Yeah. So, I watched The Bad Batch on Netflix, and this was actually, I don't know why, when I saw it, I was like, ooh, what is this? I want to watch this, because I had started before. And what pulled me to this was the cast.
Tell me.
So, it's mainly about this girl, Arlen, and she's played by Suki Waterhouse.
Oh!
You know who she is?
Let me see your face.
Oh, she was an Insurgent.
Mm-hmm. Let me see your face.
Right there.
Yep, I know this bitch.
Okay.
I also work with a Suki, which I've never heard outside of True Blood.
Or the Gilmore Girls.
Oh, yeah,
Suki.
but I never watched Gilmore Girls.
Okay. Jason Momoa. Keanu Reeves.
Oh my god.
Jim Carrey.
Wait, what?
Jim Carrey.
What?
Jim Carrey.
In a movie with Jason Momoa and Keanu Reeves.
And the crazy thing is, right? So when you put it up on Netflix, it only mentions Keanu and Jason. It does. There's no mention on there about Jim Carrey, right?
Is it a cameo?
He's very much in this. So
I'm like shooketh, right? Why the fuck did I just say shooketh? I've been watching like too much Brad Mondo, so
I'm shooketh right now. Shooketh. So let me just give you a quick. So it's. I'm just gonna read this because I don't want to botch it. Well, this is actually the shorter version. In a desert dystopia, a young woman is kidnapped by cannibals. Cannibals, yes. So it's weird because it's somewhere in Texas, it seems, because there's like this. First of all, the first like 10 minutes of this movie is completely silent.
I like that.
I did too, and I was like, oh my god, what is this? So she's like wandering outside of this borderline, and it basically, like, there's a sign that says, if you fucking leave past this point and you try to come back, we're not gonna recognize you. We're not gonna acknowledge you. You're not allowed to be entered back. And basically, the people who get put out in this deserted dystopia, I just said that wrong, desert dystopia, is literally people that are under the Bad Batch. So Jason Momoa is in the Bad Batch because
he's Jason Momoa.
He's an illegal immigrant. From Cuba. And he has like a super thick Cuban accent.
I was gonna say, did he do the accent?
Oh, he did the accent.
Oh, it was good?
And I just I like fine-tuned my ears, and I was like, how does he do that?
You can fine-tune your ears?
Yeah, I do. Just go like this.
Jesus Christ.
Move the antenna.
All right, stop. We're so lame.
So, speak for yourself. So, he's like talking in Spanish. And, you know,
if he can speak Dothraki, he can.
You know what? Good fucking point right there.
Yeah.
But he's like, talking in that every time I try to do a Cuban accent, it comes out
Cuba.
Mexican, like Chicano Mexican. I don't fucking know. But anyways, and he wears like the high-waisted slacks.
What is that?
And he has like a machete type deal. He is a knife man.
Oh, like
for
a
sure.
holster, like.
And he's part of the cannibal community that takes this girl basically hostage, right? So they catch her, they chase her down in a golf cart in the desert. You heard me right.
Got golf carts.
They knock her out. She wakes up and she's like all chained up on the ground. It's a desert. And
you don't say.
yeah, and next thing you know, they inject her. I don't know with what, but it wasn't knocking her out. And they just start like sawing off her arm.
Do they show it? Is it gory?
Oh, you know, a little bit. Just like a little bit. So they like cut her arm off, and it's like up here because the whole time she's got a little nub, right? And then she wakes up, right? And it's been like so many days, and obviously they're doing this because they're eating her.
Okay.
That's what they're doing, and they like because they patch her up.
Keep her alive for extra
And
meat.
the only time she screamed was when they were hacking her apart. But then she wakes up one day and she's got no arm and no leg. From like just below the knee down. They eat like her foot. Like, why would you eat the foot?
Wouldn't you want the thigh?
My point exactly. So she's literally
Unless she's
like
a skinny bitch.
she was.
Yeah.
So she's like she only has her left arm and her left leg, and she's like nubbed up on her right side.
Wow.
But she somehow manages to fucking escape.
Just pogo sticking it out.
No, she like crawled her, but she did an excellent job at, because obviously like it's a desert dystopia and you're out there basically to fend for yourself, and she's able to find a prosthetic leg, and it's like it doesn't fit her correctly.
Wait, they just have prosthetic legs?
No,
hanging
it's
around?
like because I think it's kind of, think of it of like a junkyard of people. So there's just like shit that you don't want. It's just tossed out there.
Okay.
So they have like vans and all this weird just
Prosthetics.
shit. Yeah. So it doesn't fit her right. So she like walks with this weird limp or whatever. So Jason plays in because he's part of the cannibal community and he barely speaks. And I thought, this motherfucker's a mute, and that just made him scarier. But then he spoke, and I was like, oh, you're just Cuban and can't speak very well. It's okay.
Reminds me of fucking Game of Thrones again, because he was one of those drug silent types.
Yeah, and he only and that was it.
I'm just gonna fuck you.
Yeah, that's it. So, which, hey, I didn't hate that.
All right, where the fuck did Keanu and Jen come in?
I'm getting to it. So
Get to it faster!
So she's rescued, and you don't know this. Because a lot of the time, his face is, like, covered. She's rescued by a person who they call the Hermit. This is Jim Carrey. He is basically, like, your town hobo pushing his little car with all his little junks in it. He's super fucking dirty, and he's wearing, like, the trash bags inside the sneakers.
Can you tell it's Jim Carrey at this point?
No!
Okay,
like,
I love this.
You can't tell until the very end when he has an interaction with Jason. And then he's, like, walking towards him and he's shirtless. So Jason at one point gets, like, shot and he mends him back to health. He doesn't have a single line.
I was just gonna say, they always have to take his shirt off.
Oh, God, and he's not in the best of shapes. Okay.
Oh!
He looks like your typical grandpa.
Really?
And he's, like, missing teeth and he's got facial
Oh,
hair.
Jim Carrey shirtless.
Jim Carrey, yeah.
Oh!
No, so is Jason.
Oh!
The whole fucking time.
Oh, of course he fucking
doesn't
is.
wear a fucking shirt. Yeah.
Is it the tattoos?
Yeah, he's
Plus
got
the
like this
body.
huge like Miami man. He looks like your typical Cubano from Miami.
Oh, they're not his real ones?
Well, his real one, it's still there, but I think
I thought he had chest shit and like back shit.
No, because this movie was done. When was this movie done?
Am I thinking
2016. So this is probably pre-tattoos.
I'm trying to think of if the tattoos I'm thinking of are from Game of Thrones.
That probably. So that's when you meet Jim Carrey. So technically you meet Jim Carrey at the very beginning. You just don't know it's Jim Carrey.
Oh my God, I love
And then
that.
I'm like watching it and he's like taking care of Jason and then he just goes by Miami Man. And I'm pretty sure there was a name in there. I just can't. Nope, it just says Miami Man. And you don't realize until the end when they interact. And I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, wait, why does that look like Jim Carrey? Because he's got that nose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just like, why the fuck does that look like... Hold on,
Does he
I
talk?
exit. No, he doesn't have a single line.
I love this.
He doesn't say a word. And then Jason goes, I'm lost. And he just gives him like this very deep, meaningful look into like his soul, right? Goes to his cart. He comes back. Gives him a snow globe.
Why?
I don't know. Because Jason was lost. And Jason was just like, okay.
Alright, okay, wait. Where the fuck is Keanu on all
Okay,
this?
so hold on. So I'm going to tie in... Well, no. So Keanu is... Oh, God. What was the name of that town?
Here she fucking goes.
I forget what the name of the town was.
I already want to watch this just because it's them. Like, what?
The Three Artists. Yeah. Oh, God. What...
Jim Carrey is so much... He's so full of surprises.
I can't remember the name of the town, honestly. I can't.
Insert name town here of a fucking desert dystopia.
Thanks. So this is where Arlen ends up, in this town, and it's basically where the Bad Batch end up, apart from the cannibals. And Keanu is the leader of a fucking cult!
Of course
He's got a bunch of bitches that live in his fancy mansion, and they're all pregnant. And he sports a porn stash. Long hair.
I mean, I can see this.
White suit.
But why is there always a cult with
Soft-spoken.
bitches?
Soft-spoken. He's there to help you live your dream.
Oh my
You're
God.
gonna live your dream, and the only way to live your dream is if you're a part of this cult.
Is this weird that I feel like the roles should have been, but I
could have been
flip-flopped. Like,
would have made more sense.
Jim Carrey as the cult leader would make more sense, and Keanu as a strong silent type.
I will tell you this. There is a lot of trippiness in this movie.
Okay. I mean, it sounds trippy already.
There's a whole giant scene. Arlen is tripping on LSD.
All right.
Because not only is Keanu the ringleader of this cult, but he is the provider, like, he provides electricity for the town. He's like the king of this town. He's talking, there's like this whole metaphor of like, you take a shit here, and it is my job, and it is because of me that your shit doesn't end up in the water that you drink. It's why it ends up over there.
It reminds me a lot of Mad Max Fury Road.
And he refers to the citizens of this town as his children. And there's a group of cannibals out there that are eating my children, right? Little does she know.
Oh no.
Little does she know who that kid belongs to. She don't fucking know. She don't fucking know. Miami Man is coming after her. 'Cause guess what? Miami Man can't find his wife or his daughter. So he goes out into the desert. He's like going around. So the only photo he has of his daughter is one that he drew. He's like a really talented artist.
Of course he fucking is.
Yes. And he's like, have you seen her? Have you seen this girl? You know, like his Cuban accent. And she lied. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, well, bitch, you're coming with me and you're gonna fucking find her, because if you don't fucking find her, I'm gonna kill you. So it's like, oh, okay, like I probably tasted your flesh. So
I ate this bitch's arm.
then. Yeah, like I totally ate
Little
one.
gamey,
I nibbled on
but-
your toe for sure.
Oh, gross!
Sucked on that finger.
This little piggy went to my mouth.
I'm telling the whole fucking movie.
That's what I'm saying. You've been talking for like 15 minutes, but I'm like so intrigued.
So good though, because even if I'm telling you all these things, when you watch it, you're just like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, I don't understand. The bunny did not make it.
Cool.
And they live happily ever after in the desert.
What is this movie?
It literally is a whole trip on LSD. Like, after I saw the LSD part, I was like, oh my god, this makes so much sense. Whoever wrote this was totally tripping on LSD. I'll tell you right now who wrote it.
I honestly just want to watch it because of them three.
It's
like the fact, a movie with Jason Momoa, Keanu fucking Reeves, and Jim Carrey.
It was a woman wrote and directed it. Anna Lily Amirpour.
Wow.
I know I gave you the whole... listen, I just like setting up the whole scene. And obviously, like, I left out some shit. You know what I mean?
I want to watch this for sure.
But it's just... I feel like if I just told you, like, oh, it's about a girl and the cannibal and a cult leader and some homeless guy. Like, it just doesn't...
Some homeless guy.
He did so
I want to watch this.
I can't tell between the four of them who did the better job.
I'm going to watch this tonight with the scribe.
Wait until you see Jim Carrey. You're going to shit yourself.
I almost wish you didn't tell me, though, because then I would have
so
freaked
sorry.
out. But you know what?
But you're not going to be
That's why I
able
want to watch it.
You're not going to be... You're going to look at him and be like, I don't see it. Until, like, they want you to see it.
Wow. That's crazy.
I honestly... All four characters are so different from each other. And they were done so well that I can't tell who my favorite is. Even though Keanu was a fucking douchebag.
I feel like he hasn't played a douchebag.
Yes, he did. That one where he played himself. With Ali Wong.
Crazy Rich Asians?
Yeah, no. That was... No, but you're close. It's with Ali Wong. That's why you're thinking Asians.
I thought it was.
No, because I have not seen that movie.
Oh, it's something weird about love.
It's on Netflix, yeah, and it's...
I'm sorry.
Ali Wong's character dates him for a minute. Yeah, that's not it at all.
Okay, no, I mean like a movie he's actually in, not a cameo.
No.
Yeah, see, he's...
No douchebaggery. No. But this was like the... And then the porn stash with the hair, and he has those aviator...
Oh my god.
And he's in white. He's in all white. Oh my god. And the women all wear skirts, white t-shirts with... printed on it was like something about living the dream.
So he has a t-shirt printer at the end of the world.
I
has all these plush toys.
Listen.
Bitch loves spaghetti. Like, he's got all these rabbits.
It was just, he was a kingpin.
Kingpin.
Kingpin. He's my accent.
Kingpin.
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 But it was, I was like, I remember starting this, but why the fuck didn't I finish it?
You didn't finish it?
The very first time I saw it, I didn't finish it. And you see,
I have to know.
I now know how to fillet a torso.
You know what? You scare me.
Good.
Wow. That's a trip right fucking there.
The whole thing, and I feel like if you watched it while you were stoned, it would probably be like 1,000,000 times better.
All right.
Not that I'm...
We're running out of time, so we need to talk about the last thing.
Are we running out of time? It's only been an hour. Okay, so we're going to talk about HBO's... I did not know that you watched this. I was so mad.
We talked about this a few episodes a little bit. We, like, mentioned it.
No, we mentioned it a lot because it came up in Mindhunters, too.
Mindhunter. Kingpin.
When these flare...
Okay, Shia. So on HBO, they did a docuseries called Atlanta's Missing and Murdered Lost Children.
Bro.
Takes place in the 70s, 80s time frame.
It was the era... No. Hold on. Back up. It doesn't take place in. It takes place now.
Well, yes, but the events
it goes
occurred.
back to 1979 to 1981.
Yes, thank you.
If you guys have watched Mindhunter...
Season 2.
Yes. You know that the majority of that season 2 takes place in Atlanta during these child murders. Tench and Holden are front and center. They're there trying to figure out these cases. And did you know that whole situation before you watched that? Or did you find out about the Atlanta child murders when you watched Mindhunter?
When I watched Mindhunter.
Okay. As did I. So I didn't know how it was going to end. Now, this is no spoiler alert. Unless you've never heard of it, then I guess sorry. But the whole thing is that 28 or more, I think it was like up to 30, children and young adults were kidnapped, murdered in Atlanta between 1979 and 1981.
All African American.
All African American, and they range between ages. I think the kids were between 17 and I think the oldest was like 16, and then the young adults, yes, 17.
Are you sure? I thought it was younger.
No,
like
the
14.
youngest was no, because there were a few 16 and 17-year-olds in there.
Yeah.
Right. So that's like the children, teenage part, and then between. I think the younger adults were 22 to 28 was the oldest. Girl, I've embedded the story in my brain. Like, ever since I watched it on Mindhunter, I can't let go of it.
Because it's so fucked up. It's
because
so
what happens
up.
is they basically make an arrest. Wayne Williams is the dude's name. And if you watch it, a lot of the families and the citizens of Atlanta don't believe that Wayne Williams, they don't necessarily say that he's innocent, but they don't think he acted alone. And he was arrested, and he is in jail currently, serving 2 life sentences for 2 murders. And it was the adults that they pinned for him or whatever.
Yep.
And, like, it was the whole fucking defense. Was it the defense? Sure. What is it?
Defense is defending him.
Yes. So the whole defense... No. The whole...
Prosecution.
Thank you. Was built on this fucking green fiber that was found on...
One body.
A bunch. It was like up to 10 of the kids.
Right.
So he got convicted for 2 of the adults that were murdered, and because of the political things, like the political shifts and the way that they wanted to... There was a lot of things going on in Atlanta at the time where they were building the new airport, and they were trying to attract investors, and they were trying to make it like a tourist spot and just bring in money. The first black mayor was there. It was the first black police chief was there. Like, it was just a very big moment in time for the black community. And this was just a black spot, no pun intended, that they just didn't... They were just trying to cover the shit up. They didn't want to touch this.
They were trying to, like, wipe their hands clean of it.
They were just trying to sweep it under the rug. So they arrested Wayne, convicted him for 2 murders, and the other 26 cases were just closed. And they just said, well, if he did those 2, then I guess he did all these other ones. And
they just closed that shit up. 26.
Children.
In like a 3-year time frame. 2, whatever.
Actually, it was specifically 23 months.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And
how do you just sweep...
So, the current mayor, oh my god, Keisha Lance Bottoms, applaud to her because she is reopening every single one of those cases.
Hence why they made the docuseries to, like, go back into it.
Which was so amazing. I'm getting chills. It was amazing because during Mindhunter... So, Mindhunter Season 2 ended, and then we hear that the Atlanta child murders cases are being reopened right afterwards, which I was like, oh, this is great.
I wonder if it had something to do with it.
I don't think it was an accident.
No.
Well, it could have been, because...
I don't know.
But
now they're getting the police chief, who is also female, right?
Yes. Erica... I had all this written down.
But they're like, this is fucked up. They have everything still.
They're bringing back 2 investigators that were originally part of the cases. This entire docuseries is equally frustrating and just so empowering to watch because these mothers are still out there fighting for the truth. And when I tell you that, like, a lot of the community don't think that Wayne had anything to do with this, it's like most of the moms.
Yeah.
So here was my theory when I watched Mindhunter. I believe that Wayne, in some way, shape, or form, was a part of it. I thought, if anything, more the adults. Because Wayne was accused of being homosexual. And because he was being ridiculed and bullied for it, he basically, like, took it out on other men. I also thought at the time that this was not, like, one person wasn't doing this. And you and I both know from watching so many true crimes and murder stuff that pedophiles specifically tend to stick to a very certain type.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I learned most of this from Criminal Minds, which is, like, not a great source, but it's also not far from the truth.
No.
So, the fact that there was, I think, 1 female victim, she was the youngest, she was 7. Most of these boys were between the ages of 8 and 14, like you said, but there was a few that were between the ages of 15 and 17, and I think that was because
they looked younger.
Their
build was smaller.
They're just, like, smaller and whatever. Yeah. So,
which is so fucked.
The whole case was built on these fucking fibers and how specific it was. And what I appreciate that Mindhunter brought this to light to maybe people that didn't know about it.
Like us.
It is nothing like the docuseries. There is so much information that we did not know. Now, in the show, they did hint at an undercover cop that was keeping surveillance on KKK members. I'm pretty sure it was towards the Sanders brothers.
Mm-hmm.
What you find out in the docuseries is that the Sanders brothers, along with 3 or 4 other pedophiles in the vicinity where these murders were happening, were, like, brought up, but then made gone. Like, once they were like, oh, it was Wayne Williams, like, everything else was just like, oh, forget it, we're just gonna pin it on this dude.
Yep.
Now, one of the kids was actually raped and murdered in a laundromat. And witnesses saw who did it, but they put that murder on Wayne Williams.
How fucked is that?
Then
the dog hair thing also got me.
Oh my god, we'll get to that. So then the FBI was also the GBI was conducting that undercover thing with the KKK, where one of the Sanders brothers repeatedly would say that he was going to go out and get little black kids and kill all these little black kids and blah blah blah, and then the little black kids would end up dead.
Hello?
What the fuck? Nobody thought to look into that? Nobody mentioned that shit? So then there was a couple other like pedophiles, because the sad thing is too, like, these kids came from, and what I love about the series is that, like, I don't mean to jump like this, but
it gets us so excited.
The very first episode basically explains where Atlanta was at that time,
which I love because it sets the scene so well.
Oh my god.
For, like, how society was functioning.
The mayor was, like, bringing in money, and he was doing all these great things for middle class African American citizens. But lower class African American citizens, they were just
forgotten,
pretty much. And that's what most of these kids were. So in order to make money, these kids, you know, there was like one kid that was like selling air fresheners.
Yeah.
But a lot of them would prostitute.
Which is so fucking sad.
It is. And there were 2 other pedophiles who people knew for a fact that these kids were going to their homes. And I feel like it's not very often where a pedophile would just bring a kid in and do his business and then let the kid go.
But this was also during a time when it was a lot less surveillance in terms of, like, there was no internet activity.
Oh my god.
People didn't talk much. Like, no one would believe a lower class.
Especially in those community. Like, even the moms themselves, some of them were prostitutes and they were out there just...
They had to make money.
Pulling tricks to make... Yeah, just to keep the lights on. And, you know, they were talking about one of the kids where, like, in the house, all there was a mattress that he shared with his mom. And sometimes the lights would be on and sometimes they wouldn't. Mom would buy McDonald's to feed him, and then she was out all day and night hooking, because that's all there was. Like, how else is she supposed to make her money?
It's so fucking sad.
So it just, but then at the same time, like, Yusuf Bell was a very well educated boy, very integrated in the community. So it just, like, they didn't
discriminate in terms of class.
No, none at all. And
it was just who they could get their hands on, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I know.
But it's going back to, like, the dog hair stuff. So it was like the fibers, the dog hair. It was all in Wayne Williams's environment, in his vehicle, in his home. The thing is, some of these kids were older. And the 10 kids where they found fibers on, and I didn't pay attention to this part, and I should have. I wonder if they were the older kids, because if Wayne Williams was indeed a homosexual, I'm wondering if he was having sexual relationships with these kids.
Probably.
And maybe that's how the fibers got on. So they went on about the fucking fibers of this carpet that supposedly was so unique. And they were like, you know, only this many of this carpet was sold this year. And if you distribute that evenly, 82 homes in Atlanta would have that carpet. But what are the chances that Wayne Williams had that carpet? But then they go on further into the series. The same clues, evidence that they had against Wayne Williams, they had against the Sanders brothers.
They even found, like, a white dude's hair.
Yeah, there was Caucasian DNA everywhere. So,
but let's arrest, you know, the gay black guy.
It started off with Alaskan Malamute or Siberian Husky dog hairs.
But Wayne Williams had a German Shepherd.
And when they decided we're going to put this on Wayne Williams, all of a sudden the records were all changed to German Shepherd hair.
And guess who had a Malamute? The Sanders brothers.
They did. It's insane. I just don't understand. Like,
And because the KKK was so connected back then, well, not so connected, but they
were very much in power.
They had pull.
Yeah.
It was a very good docuseries, though, because they talk about with experts in Atlanta who are very familiar with the case. Oh, she got it.
Sorry. So what he was trying to say was that putting Wayne Williams in jail and finding him guilty, basically. So, a couple things. The prosecutors had the FBI was backing them, so they had all these, like, unlimited resources. It was, like, millions of dollars that went into this.
Yeah.
And the defense didn't have that.
Right.
And he also believes that the reason why they just pushed so hard for this is because if they had brought in one of the Sanders brothers, it would have caused chaos and retribution all across the United States with the KKKs. Like, the KKK would rise in protest to this, and we just didn't want to see that. So they basically sacrificed Wayne Williams to keep the peace. For the record, if you haven't picked up, I don't think Wayne Williams did this.
Me neither.
I just don't. And it's crazy.
I think he was having relationships with some of them, but
I believe that for sure.
He's not.
Oh, it's I don't like, he's odd. He's weird.
He's a wicked weird dude.
He is. And he even said it, because I thought it was ballsy too how they put him on the phone for the families to hear.
Like present day. They're like in a church, right?
Yeah.
And the like families and the moms of all like the deceased boys are in the pews, and they fucking call Wayne Williams in jail, and he's like talking directly to them, and I'm like,
spoke his piece,
yeah,
basically. And he's like, I will say that what put me in jail was my stupidity and my arrogance. He was 23 at the time. Think about,
you're not even fully developed then, because men take longer.
And I thought during the Mindhunter series that he probably came from a broken, shitty home. But in the docuseries, they say that his family was, like, a true Atlanta family. And, like,
on the outside, because I think they were very... I feel like his dad abused him and his mom a lot.
Especially after, like,
because he was a strong man. Yeah. Especially.
A black gay man from the South in Atlanta at that time. Like, that was probably just completely... I can't imagine. But... there were kids that worked with him, and they were saying that, like...
oh, yeah, because he was a music producer
yeah, and they were saying that was a front. That was, like, way too convenient, and it was a front. You know, it was just to lure these kids in. That's how he, like, baited them in. But the kids that grew up with Wayne, he had a group called Gemini.
Oh, yeah, band.
Because that's his sign,
yeah.
Which I'm going to say something about that in a second. They all said that they felt safe with him. So Geminis basically have dual personalities. According to astrology. I'm not an expert here, but this is what Maselli's a Gemini. And you get two very different... you can get this side of this person one day, and then the next second you can have the other side. So who fucking knows?
What are you again?
Pisces, girl.
Okay.
I'm the third eye, gentle, emotional.
What's Aquarius? Fucked. That's what that is.
Stubborn. For sure. I borderline between the two.
Well, yeah, because you're a Feb, yeah.
Yeah. So, it just... there was just so much that went wrong. And, look,
And the docuseries was only, like, what, 5 episodes?
5 episodes, an
hour
hour
long?
each, so 5 hours. But they packed...
they did.
So much information on there. There was one kid, and I think it was a Terrell brother. I could be very wrong. I honestly can't remember. I know it was one of the brothers, because some of these kids had siblings. And their brothers... are in their 40s now.
Yep.
Right, because it's 40 years later. And I know that one of them was convinced that Wayne Williams killed his brother because...
he saw him going up the stairs.
I remember seeing Wayne when I was 7 years old coming up the stairs, and I remember how scared I was. If you see pictures of this kid... he's just weird. Like, he's weird. And I can see how maybe, like, a 7-year-old would find him, like, kind of scary. Yeah. And I just don't have... and for the moms of these kids to say that. For the moms of these children to say that.
That he's innocent? Well, not innocent, but like...
that he wasn't the one. Maybe he... and I believe the moms when they say that there was definitely more than one person involved.
Huh. There has to be.
I believe it completely. Oh, and that one guy, that one pedophile that actually raped and killed that kid in the laundromat... They didn't find out until later that he was already been arrested and died in prison. So a lot of the things that gave it away, they were like, oh no, it was definitely Wayne, was because once he was arrested, everything stopped. The kidnapping stopped. The murder stopped. What they don't tell you is that when Wayne was arrested, because the KKK was being investigated and they were actually brought in for questioning, they could have pulled back. Be like, okay, you know what? It's getting too hot. Let's just not do this anymore. That other pedophile had died in jail. And the other 3 were also arrested and thrown into jail around the same time. And they stopped looking. They stopped looking for bodies. The other fucking thing... Oh my god, I could go on forever. The other fucking thing is, the reason why Wayne was even suspected was because when he was pulled over at the bridge saying that, oh, he dumped the body, that kid that was found in the river was found in swimming trunks, and they actually called it an accidental death. Like, why would he kidnap someone, murder them, put them in swim trunks, and then, like, there was water in his lungs?
Which was different than all the other causes of death. They were mostly, like, strangulation.
Asphyxiation.
Yeah, there you go.
And, yeah, but it's like they found water in his lungs, so...
And also, the cops didn't really do their job when they stopped him. They let him go home. And bitch cleaned the car.
So that, like, looks suspicious.
It looks suspicious.
And then he removed the car. I don't know if that... They never mentioned that in the docuseries. That was only, like, in the show. But it just...
It's so fucked.
Like, fiber evidence is not a thing, is basically what they were even saying.
It's... The docuseries is very frustrating, because you're like, this is our world? Yeah.
And it's true what Keisha says. It's like when you think about when kids go missing now and all the investigation that goes into it and all the things that we could do with DNA. Back then, they could give you gender, race,
and that's it.
And a blood type.
That's it. Nowadays, we can do fucking everything.
They can tell you how many freckles you have in your face.
I know.
It's crazy.
They can build you out, like, head to toe.
And I remember, too, like... JonBenet Ramsey, how much media until this day they talk about that.
Oh my god, I know, because she was a white princess.
Yeah, and the mayor of Atlanta, I think, sat down with, was it Reagan?
No,
who was it? He sat down with
George Bush Sr.
It was a Republican, and it was someone in office.
Fuck no, I can't remember.
Look it up.
Oh, it was Reagan. It was the 80s.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So. He sat down with Reagan, and I guess like a little white girl had been missing or murdered on the same time, and the mayor of Atlanta was like, that was one white child. I've got 20-something odd kids. And so Atlanta is very much like a Democratic political party, and the fact that a Republican from that party or whatever had said like, okay, we need to figure this shit out, was like astonishing back then.
Yeah.
It was like unheard of.
Yep.
And I think those few years alone, or one of those years, there was up to 250 deaths in the city of Atlanta due to murder or whatever it was.
It was a very high crime rate.
Yeah. And there was like, I think children alone, it was like 150 of them.
It was a lot. It was a big percentage.
And I think Keisha had even said, Mayor Bottoms had said that it was the highest murder number that Atlanta has ever seen.
Yep.
At that time. So it's just, I can't, even listening to like Bailey Sarian, and they're talking about like investigations, like how much could you fucking investigate when you don't have the necessary tools to do your job? The fiber thing, this is what I meant to tell you also. So the lab where they were doing their fiber research.
Oh my god.
The vents would turn on, and it was lined with, was it acrylic fiber?
It was something like asbestos-y, you know, like...
It was lined with
so
something.
Run down.
And every time it ran, the guy was like, we would call it black rain, because all these fibers would basically blow out of the vents onto the areas where they were analyzing fibers. Oh my god, I literally could go on forever.
That actually reminded me of Deepwater Horizon.
Okay.
Because their facility was so outdated, and the government or whoever ran it was didn't give them enough funds to fix everything, and then, oh look, all this oil in the fucking ocean now.
Well, that also reminded me of how to fix a drug
scandal.
Yeah, because they were working with fucked up materials that weren't even, I don't know, even their logging system, like these little minor details will make or break a case, as cliche as that sounds. Like, I am just so... You know, so Wayne Williams is up for appeal again in 2027, and I can't wait to see what happens. I hope I don't die before then.
That's only 7 years.
You never fucking know.
But I'm just glad they're reopening it. And they can already tell. I think they said that the state that the evidence is in right now, like it was like the boxes they're in.
Oh,
like
that are just
they're just like haphazardly thrown together, and I just hope they find something because
I don't know if they'll find anything different other than probably more fucking kids that went missing around the same fucking time.
And what the sad part is that they're looking into it now, so we're probably not going to get answers for years.
Oh god,
because shit takes time.
I'm gonna look this shit up every few months because it literally, out of all the fucking documentaries that I've seen and all the stories that I've read, this bothers me because it's like, and I know you have our kids, and I know that you would probably feel something similar, but it's like, if anything ever happened to my kids, I don't know if I'll be ever to survive it. Like, I feel like it would be like trying to catch your breath and just not being able to. Mm-hmm. So imagine that over 40 years. Of not being able to just breathe.
And they're not going to be able to breathe for another at least 10.
These women are old and they need answers. Oh my god.
They are old.
And sucks. So many of them have passed already too. Like, I can't even imagine dying and not knowing what happened to your baby. Oh, I'm gonna get emotional.
Stop it. So anyway, the docuseries is on HBO.
Oh my fucking watch it. Please watch it, please. And you know what?
Good.
It's a very huge coincidence that I just happened to watch this after the entire George Floyd situation, which is just so fucking maddening. Oh god, I can't. My eyes are watering. I think we should stop.
Okay, we're gonna stop now, especially we're going on an hour 15.
Y'all are gonna love it anyways.
Yeah, it's good shit. So that was a lot. You got a lot of stuff to watch, so get to it
from the bottom. So start with the Atlanta murders and go, because that's more important than anything on here.
Yeah,
just educate yourself,
and then watch Kiana be a cult leader after to get
so
that.
Good.
Fake shit going,
just to like give you some comedy to weigh out the darkness.
Was there humor in it?
I think so. It's a whole fucking trippy film.
I love it.
I love it too. Let us know what you guys think of this, and if we don't hear any news, then I'm assuming it's good news.
No news is good news, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right, so that's it from me.
Hasta la pasta. This girl at my job says it all the time, and I think it's
hasta
so
la
cool.
pasta.
Yeah.
Goodbye, pasta. Like what? See you, pasta?
Goodbye, sirs.
Au revoir.